What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. The main issue with thinking Chad is getting all the women out here. One, it just lacks common sense, because you know how some guys are. I mean, you got whole channels talking about Chad, or shit, they even go even further, PSL gods or something, thinking this what you got to look like to get women. I mean, you got guys thinking, you know, well, even with the looks maxing thing and all of that, thinking you got to look like some 6'2" white guy to get the women. Come on now. Come on now. Man, you got some... First of all, that shit is straight racist. It is. Thinking, oh, okay. Thinking, oh, yeah, you gotta look like this white guy. Yeah, only some white guys would think that shit. You go in some black community, Hispanic communities, Asian communities, countries, whatever. Dudes who don't look like Chad are getting the women. And even further, think about it. It's just some common sense. Even some white guys who don't look like Chad are getting women out here. Come on now. Seriously. That's some stupid ass shit. Because you get some guys always, like when I talk about body games, some guys that come against and say, oh, no, it's just face and height. Okay, so how come some average face dudes? Because you know, everybody think you got to have a certain type of face just to get women. And it might work, but you talking some guys who are 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of the population and shit. Yet there's some guys who don't look shit like no motherfucking Chad. They ain't the same race as no motherfucking Chad. Or even what people even call Tyrone. Don't look like them. You know, even me talking about body game. There's still some roughnecks out here. Got a little bit of gut on and shit. Motherfuckers average looking in the face. Average height. Average height. Average face, average height. Still getting some women out here, man. That whole Chad thing is stupid. There's some fantasy and shit brought up. There's some thing. You know what? It's really a cope by some dudes. Why they ain't really getting women. Like, oh, I don't look like Chad. That's why. No, you ain't getting women because you got a fucked up mindset. Because all you had to do. Because I would always question. Anybody say that. Like, if somebody gonna come and say, no, it's just Chad, where you live, motherfucker? Ain't no way you go outside. Or you live in some city, I don't care where it is, some major city, and the only men walking around with a woman look like Chad. It might be what you focus on, but how some motherfuckers who don't have that square jaw, don't look like no model, or some shit like that getting women? In fact, if it's so much that model look, how come everybody, even when they talk about PSL guys, they use the same motherfuckers over and over? If they were that common, you would have it. Because let's be real on something. First of all, what women consider good looking is not some objective shit. It depends on the woman, first of all. And even then, there's a whole lot of women don't want to mess with somebody they think is too good looking. And no, they ain't intimidated or something. It's just a woman's nature wanting to be the center of attention. It's just their nature. A lot of motherfuckers don't understand a woman's nature. As long as that motherfucker present himself well, dresses well, and works well with what he got and shit. Even then, some women, they prefer a rougher. They prefer a rougher face. I had a woman tell me one time, I never forget, she said, nah, Rom, I can't mess with you, you too pretty. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, you got pretty eyes and got smooth skin. I prefer rougher looking men. I'm like, okay. There's a lot of women like that. In fact, if you really take an honest look at the men who really, if you out in the streets, out in the real world, the men who actually get into play, ain't there always one who would be considered consensusly the best looking? Even if you ask the woman. But they getting it. You can see it. You can see it. If you go out, because I'm outside of Baltimore. And the DMV, that's like, well, people argue whether it's the DMV. It really ain't, but it's close enough. You look that up. That's a major metropolitan area. And Baltimore is right on it. And then shit. Within an hour's driving distance of another major metropolitan area, Philly. Like the whole Northeast corridor and shit, man. It's crowded as shit. There's plenty of dudes who ain't 6 feet tall, who got average faces, or whose faces, you know, they ain't gonna get a high score by some of these face reading motherfuckers who getting women. It's getting women. You know? Hell, the so-called Chad, or as some dudes say PSL, God is very rare, and women pragmatic. And even those dudes, they talking about these dudes like this, they, like I say, they don't know what these dudes are getting, unless they want up. They don't know what they get. Even some guys online who trying to present themselves as such, you don't know what they get. You know what they present, you don't know what's up with that. Shit. And even with that, even if they are getting theirs, there's guys who don't look like they're getting theirs too. Apparently. All these babies being born. Shoot, these dudes don't look like no Chad. Shit, all these Hispanic babies born, they don't look like no Chad. A lot of them don't have that height. It's been very rare I met a Hispanic dude that was over 6 feet. Shoot, the average height is 5'9", so regardless of race, that's around where most guys gonna be. Regardless of race. And they walking around with some women. Now, is it every single one? No. But see, the difference is the dudes who doing it, they fix up what they got. Like body game. Body game by itself will make a man stand out because a lot of guys ain't working out. And I know there's a lot of dudes who still getting women regardless of their face or height, still working out. And they still fixing up. They ain't walking around like just jacked up. They still gonna fix their face, let the barber bless them and shit, dress well. But mainly have a right attitude. They got the attitude, they gonna get theirs regardless. Like I said about short-statured men, you got some short-statured men don't give a fuck. They can, you can get some guys on here, and you notice the guys who talking the most or be talking about, well, it's Chad, it's a PSL guy. They never show themselves. But they do know there's some guys who gonna believe that shit, so they're gonna make their money off these motherfuckers. And I'm like, well, damn. How you gonna make your money off of somebody just really putting them down, not telling them that they could do better? Look, let's just be real out here. Let's keep it a buck. Like, if you talk about face, most motherfuckers got an average face. Most motherfuckers. Yeah, if somebody got an outstanding above average face, yeah, they're gonna get theirs, but then you get some motherfuckers who may be average looking getting theirs. Shoot, I met some motherfuckers, they call themselves ugly getting a badass woman. Cause see, here's the thing, let's get into a woman's nature. Yeah, they checking out looks, but they don't stop with looks. Anybody who say they do ain't been around some women. Only extremely shallow women stop with looks. And they usually stupid as shit anyway. Women looking at every part of a man. So what a man gotta do is just fix up what he can. Like I mentioned before, knowing about this dude, 5'2", got all these women like crazy. Got babies under the age of 10 and shit, even though he in his 70s. But he had that attitude though. That's the thing. Because if you really seriously, and if you don't have, like I said, I question whether these people go out. Anybody who believe that shit, oh, you gotta look like Chad, you gotta be a certain height, all that shit. I question where they hang out at. I question where they go if they go out. Because damn, every time I go to a mall, just in this area, like I'm in the Bel Air, Maryland area. I can look it up because I know some motherfucker, well, how many people? It ain't a small town, man. It's the county seat. You know? And then, just going to different malls. Sometimes I go to Towson Town Center, be down there. I've had some people run into me down there. Shit, crowded. And I be checking out couples, and I can tell from their body language how strong they are. I can tell from their body language and shit. So it's like, shit. You like, well, hold up. Is that a Chad? No. Because that's a dumbass thing, too. You get some guys thinking, well, it's only the white guys. Well, yeah, well, let's put it like this. Blacks and Hispanics ain't complaining about fertility. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, I went there. That was the case. Why so many complaining? Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah, I'm just pointing out reality. Pointing out reality and shit. Don't get mad. If you get mad or something, stay off of here. It's just that simple. Stay in your fantasy world. You want to hear the real, I'm gonna bring it. But yeah, if you look at a lot of dudes, you go out any place there's a bunch of people, you see a man and woman together. There's plenty of guys who under 6 feet getting a woman, walking around. And shit, even some guys who be listed as dorks. Well, I stopped by my comic book store the other day. You know, and like I said, I be seeing couples in there now. And dudes don't, they be in there with their women and all of that. But see, one of the things a man has to do is just look for the right match for him. See, the smart man will do that shit. He'll look for the right match, regardless of what they look like. You know, and they'll just take, you know, they ain't caught up in that shit. They just caught up on being the best man they could be. You know, and they might have that thing of ours we call game. But even then, you know, they just working with what they got. You know, working with what they got, find the right woman for them. Because once again, let's, and I was about to get into a woman's nature. Shoot, women, and I've said this 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more. I'll keep saying it. Women be looking at everything on a man. Women look, yeah, they look at a man's face. They look at his height, but they also look at his body build. They look at his skin complexion. They look at how he cut his hair. Then they want to hear what he talking about. Like, what's his people call it a mouthpiece, but it's really just his conversation. What is he talking about? You know, what's he trying to do? Does he have a plan for life? You know, is he masculine? Let me talk about that. I got a video coming next week. I'm talking about it even more. But is he just masculine? If he's just going to be a man about his shit. Because I know this Tantrum Master, you know, people would say, well, how you getting women? I'll call his name Shatam Nidiyam. He said, because he a man. Yeah, that dude older, he definitely, that dude older than about a good 5, 7. Getting women. Because he just don't give a fuck. See, one of the issues is a lot of men are just using, they holding back. Because they using that as an excuse. Oh, I don't look like Chad. I don't have this height. Man, that's some bullshit. You hurting yourself. And yeah, you know what? There's going to be some women that reject a man for those reasons. That's not your woman then. Because see, there's an abundance of women out here. That's one of the things you got to remember. There's an abundance of women out here. And nah, some women going to reject you for whatever reason. She might reject you because of your, she don't like your looks. Okay, fine. Next. Because the next woman, you handsome to. There ain't no objective shit out here. And the next woman, shit, if you just meet him ugly to her, she'll get with you. It depends on the woman. Every woman's going to be different. You might, the best a man can really do is just fix himself up and then see which women are feeling. He might be surprised. You got some women, you got some women, a dude need to be, like, if you look at the house of the man, right? I ain't talked about this. Let me go deep with y'all. And I've talked about that before. I've talked about the house of the man before, right? Like, if a man is like a warrior type, more paternal, the woman who will find him attractive is, most attractive is a woman who's maternal herself. Because you got a lot of women, they don't want to party. They want to be good mommy and all of that, wifey and all that shit. Well, they looking for a man who's presenting that personality. Or you get a more intellectual type of woman and stuff. She more in her head. She want a man more in his head too. More intellectual type. Or you get some women out here, shit, they want to go out and make that money. You know, not for, you know, they're business types. They want to start a business. That's the type of man they're going to go for, is that same type of man who's about making that money and everything. And then you got some women, they want to party, look good and all that shit, fix up. That's the type of man that they're going to go for. See, every single woman got a type that she's going to go for. Every single woman. You know? Every single woman. They don't all go for the same type. There's plenty of women, they'll look at a guy and, you know, if he ain't matching their personality or something, no matter what he look like, they don't want to fuck with him. You know? If you got different types of women, all you have to do is fix yourself up and then find a woman that fits in with you. That's the beauty of it. Because if that woman just reject you or something, it's like, okay, bye. And it don't matter why she don't want you. And indeed, a lot of guys will say, well, she rejected me because I didn't handsome or, you know, I wasn't tall. And if you ask that man, well, how many women have you actually dealt with? And he's usually like, dude, might only dealt with maybe one or two, might have rejected him and shit. And he ain't pay any attention to the ones who weren't rejecting him. Seriously. Don't get caught up in some of this bullshit. You know, because, you know, let me just be real. If your ass go outside, that's why I always question where some of these dudes live at. I say, do you go outside? I see that shit all the time. I see guys, regular guys with, like, decent women all the motherfucking time. Even as much as I promote body game, I see some motherfuckers ain't big on it. Or they just got different feet. You know, I do see a lot of guys who definitely go to the gym and shit, definitely work out, get women. But I've seen some other guys, they get them otherwise. It depends on what the women like, because women like different shit. And even then, I would say, like some guys will say about body game, right? They'll say, well, I seen this one with this big old guy. Maybe that woman like that. I've known some women, they like a little bit on a guy. They like a little bit. They want that guy to have some weight on them and shit. Some women do. Like I said, every woman is different. All a man had to do is don't trip. Don't think they only want one type. See, that's a big problem there. You got some guys trying to say, oh, women only want one type. Well, first of all, that type ain't prevalent. Two, how many women have you dealt with? Women like different shit. You know? Women turned on by different shit. Thinking you only gotta be one way to get a woman. Anybody promoting that shit, they on some shit. They ain't been out here. You know? Yeah, man, I got too many stories. I know too many motherfuckers. Hell, I remember when I was in Houston, when we had that self-improvement summit by C Boogie in Houston, went to a club. And there was a dude in there made me look small, but that dude was grinding up on all the women. That dude was on some straight, and man, he wasn't holding back. Like I said, that dude made me look small. You don't know. There's another woman getting all freaky with this old guy, big old guy and shit. Women like different shit. You know? Women like different types. So if you as a man, most you can do, you just fix up and see which type like you. That's the tribe. Which ones are naturally focused. But in order to even find that, you got to get your ass out. You can't be stuck in a house or some shit, or have some woe is me shit. Women don't like that negative energy. Why should they want that guy thinking like that? They already most women are very insecure, even if they publicly seem like they're very secure. Most women are insecure. Most women are insecure and shit. So that's the thing. You gotta be like, you gotta be confident. That's why, you know, some dudes, they just confident that works. Some dudes try to say it don't work, or, you know, they want this or that. How you know what that woman wants anyway? Because apparently, shit, like I said, the best indication of any true selectness is who these women popping out a baby with. It take a lot for a woman to want to have some man's baby. She gonna reproduce him or some shit. Even in paternity fraud situations, she wanted to reproduce the man she actually had the child with. So, I mean, you gotta think about that shit. When you go out here in the real world, what do you see? Who's getting the pussy? Who getting the women? Who married and got a couple kids? Shit, I ain't mentioned like at the gym and stuff. I saw this woman in there, nice. I consider it a nice body. She had her husband and sons in there, and I said, "Shit, the father, man, he might have been about 5'8". And this fine-ass woman popped out 2 kids for his ass. Shit, those kids, you can tell they're kids. You can just look at them. Those kids had both boys had some of both parents. And stuff. So, you know, don't get caught up in that shit, man. Just be caught up in the best thing, and you get who you get. You can even get a decent woman, because that's what I pay attention to. Like, if a dude walking around with some ugly ass woman or something, I'm like, oh, whatever, as long as he happy. But other than that, shit. I'm going here. Get some vittles. I forgot where I was going for a second. So anyway, right? You just got, hey, look, honestly, fellas, don't get caught up in that whole Chad shit, man. Don't get caught up. You just present the best you can. And like I said, all you have to do is go outside. You see plenty of motherfuckers out here who don't look like that, don't look like no model, walking around with some woman and shit. Walking around with women and kids. Because it take a lot for a woman to want to pop out a baby for a man. So, anyway, man, that's all I got. I'm going to get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.